want to come to you, Dr. Seth, on the issue of private hospitals getting involved. We saw in the first stage, many of them either willingly or unwillingly were kept out of the process. Do you see them now getting more actively involved in the process? A number of them are listed on the website. Virtually every top hospital across the country is listed. But do you see them getting actively involved? Is there an incentive in any way for private hospitals to really get involved?
So let me just first say that this is absolutely correct. Private hospitals are keen to get involved, keen to augment and enhance the vaccination drive. And I tell you, you just said, what is in it for the private hospitals? I think you've seen this in the past, and even till now, the private sector has stood shoulder to shoulder with the government in the fight against COVID. Not because of any profits.
So I'm sorry to intervene, there's a question mark over that. There are a number of people who believe private hospitals could have done much more. And even today, given the fact that it is not a priority, it's not as if you're profiteering from vaccinations. Correct. So can we expect private hospitals to really make this a priority issue?
Absolutely, and this is what we did today. We're seeing how this can be even ramped up. For example, there are two aspects to it. Nationalistic feeling, we're doing a job, we're doing a service, and we're happy that the government trusts us. Now, we must remember, what is the profit into this? If we actually are able to defeat COVID, and by the way, we are at war, and we've done that, and we've stood shoulder to shoulder with the government sector in the last 1 year, even till today as it stands. So if we've done that, we've done it for the sake of the country. And believe you me, the biggest profit the country can have is to drive away COVID, for normalization to occur and everybody to gradually get back to normality. What could be a better thing than that? So, by the way, the trust between the government and the private sector have gradually dwindled. You remember that time when we actually only had the testing only in the government sector, and then gradually it was open into the private sector. And apart from a few glitches, everyone's worked together to the fight against.
Dr. Seth, will all these hospitals, private hospitals, have on-site registration? At the moment, they all seem dependent largely on the COVID site. And do you believe that the price ceiling, as some believe, should be raised because it will incentivize in a way the vaccine industry? Kiran Majumdar-Shaw and others are suggesting that 250 rupees is too, COVID vaccine jab should not be capped at 250 so that private vaccines are incentivized?
So let me just address 2 or 3 points here. The first point was that whether the process for giving vaccination was only clear to the private hospitals yesterday, and certainly by today, we had a person devoted to uploading for the patients and helping the patients, which is even going to be smoother tomorrow onwards. By the way, we had a rush of walk-in patients who perhaps could not get onto the COVID app for whatever reasons, and we were therefore catering to them, and that was a rush in the afternoon, which is still, by the way, was continuing till 8 o'clock to clear up. But we must also remember that every process is a process in evolution. We are talking about a process as is it today, and as you've seen for testing in the past, you've seen for other aspects of patient care of COVID disease, that process of evolution changes the process to say what is going to be in 2 weeks' time and how do we spread it out in 4 weeks' time. Because earlier, in the initial phases, remember, it's not just the number that we've got to do. We've also got to be taking care of that vulnerable patient.